Hello, everyone, and welcome. Let's start our satsang this evening with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, beloved Master Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Bless us in this satsang this evening to feel thy divine presence filling us with joy, with love, with light. We are thine. Be thou ours. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll have a song by Swami Kriyanandaji and then excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on the topic, Let Dharma be your guide. Welcome again to everyone.
Walk like a man, even though you walk alone. Why court approval once the road is known? Let come who will, but if they all turn home, the goal still awaits you. Go on alone. Follow your dream, though it lead to worlds unknown. Life's but a shadow, once our dreams have flown. What if men cry, your dream is not our own? Your soul knows the answer. Go on alone. Give life your heart, bless everything that's grown. Fear not the loving, all this world's your own. Make rich the soil, but once the seed is sown, seek freedom, don't linger, go on alone. Walk like a man, even though you walk alone. Why court approval once the road is known? Let come who will, but if they all turn home, the goal still awaits you. Go on alone. Go on alone. Go on alone.
Our subject this morning is Let Dharma be your guide. The meaning of the word Dharma is duty, but a particular kind of duty above all. That is to say, that duty which leads you to a realization of your highest self. There are lower and higher forms of duty, and we could take the word to mean simply your worldly duty. But in the highest sense, in the true sense, the word Dharma means that action which leads you toward God realization. Whenever we think in terms of duty, we tend to think of something of a burden, something that goes against our desires, that goes against our pleasures. And in fact, we do wake up, as Yogananda said in that passage that Durga just read. We wake up from the dreams of childhood to the realization that it can't be a Peter Pan existence forever. We have to assume the burden of working and supporting ourselves and supporting our families. And so people tend very often to lose touch with that beauty that they experienced as children in their engulfment, you might say, in duty. But this too is a kind of dream. And so it would be true to say, when you wake up in God, I slept and dreamed life was only duty, and I woke up and found life is beauty. And so you see that the saints, even though doing their duty in this world, do it with a sense of beauty, do it with a sense of joy, with a sense of privilege, with a sense of the love that comes when you're sharing with other people, with a constant flow of inspiration. And this is the kind of attitude with which we want to approach the whole subject of Dharma, so that we realize that even if it may be difficult in the beginning, because it requires a certain disciplining, once you've got all your energies in the right direction, there is only joy. I'll give a personal example that in my spiritual life, for many years, was always torn in two opposite directions, mutually, it seemed to me, contradictory. On the one hand, I wanted to live the life of a hermit. I wanted to be withdrawn from society. I remember a period of time that I lived in the Himalayas and, didn't speak to anybody, didn't have anything to do with the world outside. I spent 12 hours a day meditating and reading spiritual books, and it was a wonderful period of my life. And I felt that I could easily and gladly spend my whole life that way. And on the other hand, I knew that at the end of this period I had to go out and teach. And I had a whole lecture program set up, many different cities, classes every night, thousands of people literally coming to the lectures and classes and so on. And I remember the first day when I had to break my silence and talk again. And for that whole day, it wasn't as if I was literally shaking, but inwardly I felt as if my whole nervous system were just shaken by the unaccustomed energy of having to use words as opposed to the deep silence I had been enjoying. On the one hand, thus, there has been always that hermetical trend. On the other hand, there's been the tendency, the moment I feel even a bit of joy, to think, how can I share this with everybody? And thus wanting to go out there and help people, wanting to serve humanity, wanting to do what necessary to bring everybody onto the path and not just follow it alone.
Welcome again, friends. I'd like to begin with a reading from Autobiography of a Yogi. This was when Babaji came to Master and told him to go to the West to teach. One early morning, I began to pray with an adamant determination to continue to even die praying until I heard the voice of God. I wanted his blessing and assurance that I would not lose myself in the fogs of modern utilitarianism. My heart was set to go to America, but even more strongly was it resolved to hear the solace of divine permission. I prayed and prayed, muffling my sobs. No answer came. My silent petition increased in excruciating crescendo until at noon I had reached a zenith. My brain could no longer withstand the pressure of my agonies. If I cried once more with an increased depth of my inner passion, I felt as though my brain would split. At that moment, there came a knock outside the vestibule, adjoining the Garpar Road room in which I was sitting. Opening the door, I saw a young man in the scanty garb of a renunciate. He came in, closed the door behind him, and refusing my request to sit down, indicated with a gesture that he wished to talk with me while standing. He must be Babaji, I thought, dazed, because the man before me had the features of a younger Lahiri Mahashaya. He answered my thought, yes, I am Babaji. He spoke melodiously in Hindi. Our Heavenly Father has heard your prayer. He commands me to tell you, follow the behests of your guru and go to America. Fear not, you will be protected. After a vibrant pause, Babaji addressed me again. You are the one I have chosen to spread the message of Kriya Yoga in the West. Long ago, I met your guru, Yukteswar, at a Kumbh Mela. I told him then I would send you to him for training. Isn't that beautiful? And just to have in our minds that it really, our Dharma is given to us by God, is given to us by our gurus, is given to us by Master. And isn't the highest Dharma to do whatever we can in our lives to be able to attune more deeply to loving God, to serving God, to giving our whole being to God, to becoming one with God? That's the highest Dharma that we can ever aspire towards. But most people don't have Dharma in mind at all. Their life is governed by whims and fancies. As Swami Sri Yukteswarji said to Master when he came to him, he said, allow me to discipline you. And Master said, why? And he said, because your mind and your life is ruled by whims and fancies and desires and attachments that we all have. This is how most people live their lives. I remember when I came to Ananda, I was all over the map until Swamiji. I went to Swamiji and I said, Kriyanandaji, I said, please train me. I feel Master has sent me to you for training. And for all of us on the path, we want to live a life that is lifting our consciousness. That's a life of our soul, a life of inner peace and joy and upliftment and super consciousness that takes us towards the highest Dharma, not that takes our energy down. Our direction is towards the highest Dharma. And some examples I thought of with in Swamiji's life, he came to Ananda, and he didn't come to Ananda, he created it, but just think had he not created it, he first went, he bought property, and he thought he'd just live there alone, basically, and a few people might visit, some of his friends, and then more and more friends came, and then more and more people came, and then he had to buy more property, and then Swamiji had to make the money to keep the place going, and he had to build the buildings. He needed more money, and then he thought, why, Divine Mother? I came here. I wanted to be, as you heard on this talk, a hermit, but it wasn't his Dharma. Master had something else in mind, and we have to keep that in mind. Is it what we want? Or are we guided by the guru who knows our karma, who knows our dharma, who's guiding every part of our life if we would allow him to? And Swamiji found, as he built the buildings, made the money to create Ananda, that it helped him so much. He became more in attunement. He had more strength. He had more focus. He had more upliftment himself because he followed the dharma that God and Guru had given him. Swamiji also said when he began to teach, and Master told him, your life is intense activity, and meditation was put last. Intense activity and meditation, and that your life is writing, editing, and lecturing. And Swamiji felt, and he said for 7 years as he was lecturing, he thought, who's getting anything out of this? Why am I even doing this? Until at some point someone came and they were really helped. Someone was going to go down a wrong path, and they were really helped. And Swamiji said it took him all those years for him to come to that. This is my Dharma. Master told him it was his Dharma. And his whole life, Master guided him. And I recall when I first came to Ananda, my whole family was in tears. No one wanted me to come to that strange place up in the mountains and with that strange yoga teacher and a strange community, and you're throwing your life away. But I just knew in my heart, I had to come. Why? My guru was calling me. When I arrived at Ananda, I didn't know a soul. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Indian philosophy. I didn't know about karma and reincarnation and Dharma and levitation and yogis and anything you name. I had no idea. But when I met Swamiji and I saw the people around, I felt a vibration. And Swamiji, Master through him, said, this is your home. You should think about living here. And right then and there, I knew, this is where I belong. This is my life. My life is for Master. Even if I didn't know anything about it, but still in my heart, I felt this is my life. This is what Master wants me to do. And soon after, it wasn't, I don't think 3 years had passed, Swamiji sent me to Europe to teach. And I didn't know anything about teaching, but I learned and sharing with people and singing in the choir and going all throughout Europe. And then he sent me to 3 African countries. I didn't know anything about going there, but I went. Then he sent me to Australia. Then now I'm in India, but right now I'm in America, but I've been in India 18 years. Was it my Dharma? Absolutely. Would I have come up with that myself? Doubtfully, probably never. But I kept following in my heart. And the Dharma could be something you don't even really like. People say, oh, I have to do this. I love this. I just gotta do it. You know, there was a man I remember years back at Ananda, and he was a musician and he played well. And, you know, and Swamiji wrote 400 pieces of music, but Swamiji never called himself a composer or a musician or any of that. But this fellow, I remember I was there, I think it was. And he said to Swamiji, I have to write. I just gotta write music. I just gotta do it. And Swamiji said, I don't have to write another piece my whole life. If this is what God wants, I do it. If he doesn't, I won't do it. And this is how it has to be. What does God want? And whoever asked that question, what does Master want? Master, what do you want me to do in my life? How can I please you? And Swamiji said, when I did, I found joy in life as I did what my guru asked me. What a beautiful line. I found the joy in life when I did what Master asked me to do. And you can try the other things, but they don't work. And how do you know what's right? For it's up to Divine Mother. It's up to the gurus. It's up to Master. It's up to, remember Swamiji asked, he met one great yogi, Sri Rama Yogi in southern India. And this man was obviously very great. And Swamiji asked him, well, why haven't you done more? Why don't you have a lot of disciples? Why don't you get up there and teach? And the man said, God has done what he wants with this body. It's up to Divine Mother. How do we know? First of all, inwardly ask. Ask Divine Mother, ask Master, and then consult someone who you respect. I love Swamiji's line. He says, people just go, I go straight to Master is what they say. And they look at the picture of Master on the wall and ask him. And Swamiji says, he's always smiling. And so people think, well, he's smiling. That means it's right for me to do. But go to someone who you respect and tell them what you're thinking of doing. Don't take it on your own. I remember when I was coming to India, moving to India, I asked Swami Kriyanandaji, I said, should I be in India? Should I go back to America? Thank God I could ask him. And he said to me, look around, you're desperately needed over here. And then he added, and you need a break. And I thought, break? How am I going to get a break in India? But I never got a break. But thank God he guided me. I've been there more years in India than I lived at Ananda Village. And Then I lived in my home when I grew up. I left the house at 17. And so was it my Dharma to be there? Of course it was. How did I know? I asked Master, I asked Swamiji, I felt it in my heart. And then after you feel that, you take one step in that direction and you keep moving, and you get the thing about Dharma is you got to be committed. I see so many people coming, going, coming, going, coming, going. What are you committed to? Remember early on in India, I wasn't used to being in India. It was so hot. I'm telling you, I was teaching in the summer up in Delhi at a school. It was just 100 degrees of just, and I was setting up the chairs. I set up the whiteboard. I set up whatever, the book table and the altar and on and on. There was nobody there to help me. We were new there. Students would trickle in, and I remember I just nearly fainted. It was so hot and there was no AC. And then I just thought, this is just too much. And then the thought came in my mind. It was so clear. And I felt it was Master's voice. I didn't hear anything, but I felt. And the words were, you will make great spiritual progress by your seva here. I didn't hear the word Dharma, but it was seva, by your seva. Give your heart to God. Do your Dharma. Follow the guidance of the gurus. No matter how you feel like you're being beat, still go forward, move forward in that Dharma. Then you will begin to see that the clouds part and there's just light. And one by one, the masters come and they visit you and they bless you because you have done your Dharma all the way through life until the final exam. You are free. God bless you. Ask Nitendra to come on screen now. We have just a couple of questions.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. And let me tell you, it is not hot in India anymore, so you can come.
It's freezing over here.
The first question, Dhyanaji, is I have made mistakes in choices that I have made, which I thought were right and dharmic. So how can I now get them right?
Don't just lean on your own understanding and your own attunement. I mean, we're attuned to a certain degree. But I was just saying to Jyotish and Daviji today, I just thanked them. I said, I thank you. I thank you for helping me in my life. I thank you for the guidance. I would have made so many mistakes. I thank you. And I remember one time I said to Swamiji, you should be grateful. The people are guiding you. I went to Swamiji, I just thanked him. You know what he said to me? It was shocking, but I know it's true. He said, I said, Dhyana, Master is helping you. I would meditate on that. Master can help you. If you tune in properly, if you ask in meditation, if you ask those who you respect their advice, Master's helping you. Don't go off on your own. You need to make a big choice. Ask Master, what's the right choice? Should I move to Mumbai? Should I stay in Delhi? Whatever it is, should I put my kids in the school? I know so many people, they just do everything. And they go to a psychic. The psychic says, yes, I see you in Mumbai. Or a bad astrologer, or they call people their friend on the phone. The friend is just as much in delusion as you are. Go to somebody who has wisdom. Ask them. It's a blessing. What if you were on the path by yourself, trying to make it all the way? I tried it. It doesn't work. There are pitfalls all around. Some of them takes you a long time to get out of them. Why go through that? Use what we have. We have so many people are helping us. We have the books, we have the talks, we have Master and all the gurus helping us. Tune in. That beautiful song at the beginning, Go On Alone. It's go on if nobody else goes, but go with the group as far as you can. And you will find there's a lot of help there where you will make good choices.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Two more questions. The first is, what if I don't want to do my dharma and want to do something else? Because there are so many pulls in different directions. Can I do my dharma later, maybe?
Well, I can say I tried that one. It didn't work. I tried to hold off the Dharma for later, but I wasted 3 years of my life. That's the way I felt, just doing another Dharma. And, if it says in the Gita that if a lower Dharma conflicts with the higher Dharma, you have to go with the higher Dharma. Dharma is there. If you see it or if you try to go with it or not, it's there. And if you go in another direction, you're not going to be happy. Things don't work out. You can feel in your heart, I'm sure you felt this, you can feel when the master's displeasure. Like, why? I remember once, years back, I had 2 directions to go in, and it was a very difficult choice. And the one direction was very hard, and I just don't have the strength. I just can't do it. The other direction was easier. And I tried going, you tried to sneak. I tried going down the other path. And I just my heart was hurting. It was like, Master said, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And so I went the other way. All the doors open. It's like a trick. It's like this way is easier. And you get blocked all the way. The other way, as soon as I start going the right way, I felt joy, I felt support, I felt Master's blessing, I felt him going, yay, that's the right way, that's the Dharma, go, go. So you're not going to feel good. That's the other thing, your heart's going to hurt. And when that pain comes, I'm not going right. Look for the signs, and there are a lot of them. Some people are in denial, but the signs are there. So don't hold off, just at least put one foot in front of the other, going in the right direction with your Dharma. And then I found that there's so much help. Your friends help you, the universe helps you, the people help you, everybody helps you. Master helps you, Swamiji helps you. But if you try not to do it, I just felt pain. I felt so much pain. You don't want that pain. You don't need it. The other leads to what Swamiji said, joy.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. One last question. Is my dharma specific to me?
Yes. You try to do somebody else's. Remember Swamiji said there was a monk when he was in the monastery, and said the other monk, he was so devotional, he'd meditate all the time. He was just bhakti, he just chanting and everything. And Swamiji said he wanted to be like him. And Swamiji was always so active, and he said felt like he was sitting on a volcano. There were so many ideas and inspiration, and the other monk wanted to be like him. He wanted to be like the other man, but you can't. Yours is yours, and it has to do with your own spiritual growth. I remember Swamiji said for acharyas, he said those who are acharyas, that it's something you've done in the past life, probably. It's just something you're picking up again. And so you can't do somebody else's. Better to fail at somebody else, at your own Dharma, than to try to do somebody else's. So yours has to do with your own spiritual growth, your acceleration, your soul's need of upliftment into the light. And it has to do finally with liberation. So you have to stick with their own Dharma. And as you do, you feel more and more uplifted, more and more in joy, more and more in the light. Finally, Dharma means freedom. If you can do your Dharma all the way, you just feel, I am free. And I think Master knows much better than we know what we need to get free. And he gives us a formula. Here's your Dharma. It's a formula he's created especially for you. And he's put his love into it. And then you say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do something else. No, say, okay, if it's health, illness, if it's something you feel uncomfortable doing, if it's relationships problems, if it's whatever, God and Guru have given you just that and nicely wrapped it with a bow. It says here, This is for you. So God bless you all. And thank you, Nitendra. Jai Guru.